Letitia James is about to learn what it feels like when the subpoenas come for you. Trump warned him. Now look who's getting investigated. Let's break this down because the media won't.
Also heard from intelligence sources today out of New York, Eric, that subpoenas have gone out to mortgage companies, insurance companies, and title companies regarding Tish James.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Subpoenas have been sent out now.
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
I don't know that I necessarily thought this day would come. Okay. I don't know that I thought that this day would come where within the first few months of the Trump presidency, he's already on one of his biggest foes' neck, y'all. Letitia James, a lot of different sources are saying it looks imminent that she will be charged with mortgage fraud, y'all. So, I mean, we're talking about actual criminal charges. I think primarily due to the claim that her Virginia home, a home that apparently she bought with a relative, I think it's her cousin, that she claimed in mortgage documents that she would owner occupy this Virginia.
So really quick, guys, when the feds start answering questions, somebody's in real trouble. So them going after these insurance companies, these mortgage companies, trying to figure out what's going on, because there's a huge gap. We have to figure out what's going on. So when they start asking these questions, I'm telling you guys, somebody's going down. Let's keep going, guys. Make sure you're liking the video.
Home. Well, of course, she can't do that while she's the sitting attorney general of the state of New York. She has to live in New York in order to be their attorney general. So it really does look like charges are on the way, y'all. This is just mind blown. So today we're going to take a look at some of the sources that are saying that they believe that charges against Letitia James are imminent. And of course, legal experts who are giving their opinion on this whole fiasco. And all of these clips are used under fair use. Y'all know I have to say that for commentary purposes. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, well, I made a misrepresentation in document A, but then I made a different representation in document B. I get it. I think it does cloud the issue, but I'm not so sure that it absolves her from the initial initial misstatement.
Yeah. And again, the question was her stating that, I mean, it just seems to me so incredibly dumb that it's hard to believe, right? That the sitting attorney general of New York would list her principal residence in Virginia, knowing that she's stepping into a beehive, right? I mean, a hornet's nest, whatever you want to call it.
He spent years, years upon years accusing Trump of inflating property values. Now look, she is on the hook right now for mortgage fraud. I don't think that's ironic at all. That's hypocrisy. Let's start there. And then we figure out who her lawyer is. Her lawyer is the same person that repped Hunter Biden. I said in my last video, guys, that is a political spider web. It's just so many just lines. She has a paper trail, man, longest U.S. history. I'm telling you guys, she's going down. Charges are imminent.
With regard to Trump, I mean, I guess I'm not quite yet giving her the benefit of the doubt because it seems to me so ridiculous that you would think you could get away with that.
Now, in this next clip, we're going to see how this commentator believes that perhaps during 2023, Letitia James might have been feeling herself a little bit. There was a Democratic president. It looked like the Democrats maybe were firmly in control, and maybe she felt she didn't have anything to worry about. So maybe she got a little bit lackadaisical on, she wasn't as Trump tight as she should have been with all of her moves. That's the theory that this commentator has. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this clip about how Letitia James might have been a little lackadaisical, and make sure you don't fall into the same trap.
Look, I don't know what her intention was when she signed that power of attorney claiming that this home in Virginia was going to be her principal residence, but everything happens in context, right, Dan? I mean, the context of that document, it's 2023. Joe Biden is the president. 2023, it's in her mind, Joe Biden is going to be reelected president, and she's doing all that she can in 2023 to prevent Donald J. Trump from being elected president. So, and it's in Virginia. who's going to be looking at this document? Who's going to be even aware that she's
You can't sit there and claim a house all the way over there in Virginia while you're the AG of New York. You just can't do that. Either you lied to the bank or you don't want a job. Either one. You could pick one, but hey, the same wrath of the law you try to throw down on Trump, you now got to face. Simple.
buying this home in Virginia? So again, I don't know what her intentions were, but I'm pointing to the atmospherics that surrounded, her conduct in 2023. Um, if she indeed did sign that power of attorney, which it looks like she did, where she attested that this was going to be her personal residence, perhaps she thought that it was never going to be uncovered. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about the second document that her office is citing.
But as you saw in that well-crafted and hilarious coming up section right at the beginning of this video, some people are saying that they have sources saying that subpoenas are going out to mortgage companies. Y'all, once the subpoenas start rolling,
Yep.
once the mortgage companies, the documents start being produced, y'all know that this is real. So there are people saying that the subpoenas are going out. And Letitia James has already hired her attorney, which we're going to talk about in a second. But the subpoenas are going out, apparently. Let's take a look.
I believe the Attorney General of New York is going to get charged by the feds here criminally. I think this is going to be a big deal. I think it is a case that is being undercovered right now, even in the right-wing media. I've been surprised that this hasn't gotten more attention.
Also heard from intelligence sources today out of New York, Eric, that subpoenas have
The
gone
grand
out
jury's
to
active.
mortgage companies, insurance companies,
And that means evidence is
and
stacking up.
title companies regarding Tish James. Subpoenas have been sent out now to the companies to brought them in under oath to go before a grand jury. So there's movement, is what the story is I just got last night.
Okay.
There's movement.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, to roll it out. But
Now, as I mentioned previously, Letitia James has already hired her attorney. We've talked about that in previous videos. He is an attorney who has represented Hunter Biden previously. So interesting choice of attorney. But the interesting thing they did not know at the time of this podcast is, yes, the New York State Attorney General's office is apparently paying for Letitia James's attorney, y'all. I mean, that's the reporting, okay? That she is not paying out of pocket, but that the New York State Attorney General's office, not her campaign, but her office, apparently is paying for her attorney. So let's take a look at some problems that may cause for her. As a top lawyer in New York, she should have already known this, though.
And if she were to be prosecuted, obviously she would have to have a private attorney, right? There would be no government protection that would pay for her attorney.
Well, it's an interesting question. There's a I don't know whether it's illustrative or not, but there's a civil lawsuit right now against Andrew Cuomo, brought by the state trooper, the former state trooper. I don't know if she still is a trooper or not, but
that was for his actions as governor.
That's
Yeah.
correct. That was,
Right.
but my point is, under public officers law in New York State, right now he is being covered under the public officers law for the cost of his defense. Now, does she have? And by the way, curiously, the official who initially decides whether or not the public officers law provides the cost of defense is the Attorney General.
So now that's not just mortgage fraud. Obviously, she knew better. You violated public office. She knew better, but she just thought she was untouchable. Letitia James thinks she's this person that it was just gonna be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wonderland for her. Kamala's gonna get elected. Somehow Joe Biden, the Bidens are still in office, and she's gonna be protected. She got the swamp protecting her right now to get out of this. I'm telling you guys, when Trump said he was draining that swamp, man, he was not playing.
I think it's a stretch because the allegations here are such that, how does she connect her official duties to these allegations? So I do think that she needs to, if she's going to properly manage this, as I mentioned a moment ago, I think it's a mistake that she's using the resources of her office at the moment. But if she's going to properly manage this, she's going to need independent outside counsel. And by the way, Dan, just as an aside, as you were at the beginning of the interview, you mentioned how her office now is providing information to the New York Times. Quite frankly, I think that's a mistake. I think that it's a mistake that she is now using her office to be proffering information about this investigation to the New York Times. If I'm the Department of Justice, I'm sending subpoenas to her office now. Why is she making people that work for her potential witnesses in the Department of Justice investigation? To me, that's just simply a bad move on her part.
So y'all,
She claimed Trump weaponized the DOJ, but you're also leaking information mid-investigation. That's not strategy, guys. That's desperation. Let's keep going.
it looks like this is real, okay? This all started on X. You had a few people who were talking about it. We covered it. Not a lot of other creators were covering it, but we covered it. And the reason why is because there was documentation associated with it, right? You don't want to just go with wild claims, but when people start producing documentation, you say, okay, hold up, there might be something here. And now we've moved, this whole ball has moved slowly, but very surely.
The DOJ will subpoena her staff, and if they're getting subpoenaed and your staff is witnesses against you, this isn't just a collapse. It's a collapse from the inside, guys. She built her whole entire brand on no one is above the law, and now she's learning how dangerous that law actually is. Let's see if she holds herself to the exact same standard. Spoiler alert, she won't, but the law will. Let me know what you guys think about this quick video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.